I wore camel because, this is one of those days in the church year where there are camels in the readings. So we've all heard it, right? 3 wise women would have asked for directions, arrived on time, helped deliver the baby, cleaned the stables, made a casserole, brought practical gifts, and there would be peace on earth. Some believe that these wise travelers were 3 men. Some believe that they symbolize that God is available to all the people on the earth. Some believe that they represent the known regions of the ancient world, Europe, Africa, and Asia. And some believe that they came from the east, Persia, what we know today as Iran, or maybe Babylon, Iraq, or Arabia. Who knew that Matthew was even the only gospel writer that mentions the Magi? And there's no mention of the number, the gender, or their status as kings. In 2016, Sister of St. Joseph, Christine Schenk, wrote an article introducing a Dominican priest, Father Benedict Thomas Viviano, who is an expert on the Gospel of Matthew. He wrote the commentary, which is like an explanation line by line of every verse in the Gospel of Matthew for the New Jerome Biblical Commentary, which is kind of, let's just say, the Bible of Scripture, or Hebrew and Christian scriptures. Apparently, Viviano believes that it's quite possible that women could have been among the Magi. Who knew? And yet, why not? Viviano suggests the main reason to think of the presence of one or more women among the Magi is the story of the Queen of Sheba. Let me just reacquaint those of you who might not find that immediately coming to your memory. In the first book of Kings, the Queen of Sheba visits King Solomon with gifts of, you guessed it, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Anyway, he goes on, but in the interest of time, I'll just summarize. Reinforcing the theory that women were there, Schenk suggests that in the Middle East, it would have been inconceivable for men to be in the presence of women without other women being there too. The Magi were a group associated with dream interpretation, astrology, wisdom, and the ancient Persian religion, Zoroastrianism. Apparently, at the time in ancient Persia, there were female astronomers, rulers, and even priests. From where we stand in 2023, it's somewhat incongruous to wrap our minds or imagine that more than 2,000 years ago, women in what is today Iran enjoyed social status and education and legal freedoms and tremendous respect. The bottom line is about coming together and traveling together as community. And I saw this beautifully yesterday. I had the privilege to be at Renewal Hospital in the emergency room with Eileen and many members of family and support. And what did I see? People, Joe's son, daughter, husband, brother, sister-in-law, Eileen's sister, and a friend, other friends from the Tai Chi Cha community, from Mary Magdalene, extending giving Reiki to Joe and Eileen. You know, in a very real sense, I was privileged to anoint Joe, to speak to him in the morning, and then to go in person. And yet, what I saw all day was people who by their presence blessed him. As I walked into Riddle, I received a text saying, I just heard Joe had a massive stroke. I wanted to make sure you knew. My friends, that's love. Very tangible. It's who we are in this community. And I believe it's why we're here on this earth. Here's the moral of the story. Wise foreigners, perhaps made up of men and women, who would certainly be considered outsiders to Matthew's audience of observant Jews, came to honor Jesus, who embodied love and wisdom. How did they find Jesus? They were guided by a brilliant star, motivated to venture into the unknown and to move outside their comfort zone. And what happened when they got there? We are told that they shared their gifts, found themselves overwhelmed with joy, and ended up taking a different route home. Whether we realize it or not, we are all channels of grace and signs of God's presence in our world. Epiphanies bring insights that often surprise us and even disrupt our lives. Yet the reality of Epiphany is that once we see, we are no longer the same. This shift in perspective allows us to travel another way. So I leave you today with a couple of questions. What guide stars lead and mentor you by providing light in times of darkness? We are all meant to shine. How have you widened the circle of light in the world? And my friends, what overwhelms you with joy? Remain blessed.